Yeah, definitely true. Because when you're just cycling along, it gets a little bit lonely and no, I wouldn't say boring, but at least lonely.
Did you have a romance at the hostel?
Of course, because my girlfriend is coming over tonight. I can't answer that. What kind of question is that? No, but I haven't. No, I didn't. No.
So when you left Liepaja, you went north. You didn't come the direct route to Riga. You went the long way around. Tell us about where you went.
Not really a long one, but I went all the way to the north, to the Cape, to Kolka, exactly. Yeah. And it's absolutely fantastic up there. I really can recommend everybody to go there, not just cyclists. Yeah. For instance, I met a couple who were actually walking there. They had their backpacks and their tent, and they were walking on the beach for, can't remember, 10, 20 kilometers, and just pitched their tent on the beach as well. So you can do it with your normal backpack as well. Yeah. It's fantastic. There's not much going on up there. Basically, it's the sea and that's about it, and the beach. Yeah.
What about the wildlife? Did you see much wildlife there?
No, not really.
I've seen elk on that road up north to Kolka. I've come across big deer, elk, lots of foxes, lots of wild birds. I've seen many times. Is it still a dirt road up there?
Yeah, it's still a dirt road. Yeah. And especially when you're coming from the west, at the beginning it's really bad for cyclists because it's how do you call that? Like breeze? No, the washbread.
The undulations?
Yeah, it's like where the
on the road.
Yeah.
Corrugations.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and it's really bad. It's like bumping the whole time, but really badly. And at the beginning, there's a lot of sand as well, so it's bumpy and it's like this the whole time, and not good fun to cycle. But after a while, it gets a little bit better. Yeah. And if you're like halfway through, then it gets even better because then you can cycle on the beach, and that's absolutely fantastic. At the beginning, it was a little bit curious if you can really do it, but the sand is like concrete hard, so it's no problem whatsoever to cycle on it.
Right. So what, do you have to get off and push every 20 meters, or you
Not at all. I was cycling at like 20 km an hour.
And you never had to get off the bike?
Not once.
And did you get wheels wet or anything? Or?
No. You don't have to cycle in the water. You cycle like 2 meters away from the water, and that's where it's really like a proper surface. You can feel it that it's a little bit harder than cycling on a kind of concrete road, but that's about it. Yeah. It's really nice, really smooth as well.
So how do you know when to get on and when to get off? I mean, once you're on the beach and you're cycling along, you could be stuck for 50 kilometres. You might not see anything. How do you know when to come off or where to come off?
Otherwise, I would have to go back. Yeah. But yeah.
Did you see many parts where you could have got off of the beach and you just continued on?
Yeah, some. So that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. There are some small villages around, so that's no problem at all.
Right. Okay. So when you cycled down the beach, and then from once you got off the beach, where did you get off the beach, and where did you go from there?
In Kolka itself, at the Cape itself.
Okay. So you cycled north to Kolka, got to Kolka, and then from Kolka you went on the main road again.
Yeah, exactly.
And how was the road down from Kolka to Riga? You came straight back?
Yeah, it's a proper road again, so it's really easy cycling, and it basically goes through forests. So once in a while you can see the ocean through the forest, which is really nice as well. And right in the north there's not much traffic at all. Once in a while there's a car passing, but not much going on up there. But the further south you go, the more traffic you get.
Right. How many kilometres would you cycle a day?
Up there like 100. And
100 kilometres a day?
100 kilometres a day, yeah. And that's pretty easy. It depends on when you start in the morning, of course, but as everything is really flat, there are no mountains whatsoever, it's pretty easy cycling.
Now, once you got to Riga, was it easy to find your way around?
Yes and no, because I stayed in Jurmala. Jurmala is
it's pronounced Jurmala, but yeah, Jurmala is pronounced. The J is like a Y, but yeah, Jurmala. Yeah.
In Jurmala, same story over there, that you can cycle on the beach as well, which I did. So there was good fun again. And then I would say right in the middle, there's starts a bicycle track going all the way to Riga, which I followed. Basically, it goes along a railway track, and suddenly I lost it somewhere in an industrial area. So I was standing in the middle of an industrial area and I had no idea where to go to. So I asked some locals, which nobody did speak English over there, but at least they were pointing the way where to go to. So that's how I found it. But it was still okay because it was already pretty close to the city.
Now, when you got to the old Argonaut Old Town hostel, what did you do with your bike?
Right now it's on the balcony.
Yeah.
Because our dorm has a balcony, and out there it's not bothering anybody, so that's pretty easy.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just curious to know where you put your bike, but there are lots of locations within the hostel. People can even put it in their rooms. Some of the rooms are large enough you can put a bike there. I mean, even this area here, people lock their bikes up to the radiators and things like that. Yeah. So since you've been in Riga, have you been cycling around, or just left your bike and gone on foot?
Yeah, just arrived yesterday, so I haven't had much chance to cycle, so I was just walking around.
And when your girlfriend gets here, will she have a bike, or?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Because we want to cycle all the way up to Tallinn next. But we have no idea where to go to, so we are just, I don't know. Let's see.
You don't know how you're going to get to Tallinn?
I have no idea whatsoever.
Oh, well, that's interesting, because we actually also we promote an alternate track to Tallinn, where we've already organised with the people in these border towns to provide services to travellers, and that's when you go up through the northeast of Latvia in a town called Luksne, and then you go across the border into Estonia, into Viru, and there's people on both sides that will actually give people lifts if they don't have a bicycle, but if you do have a bike, it's a very nice ride, really nice undulating roads, and lots of nice wildlife out there as well, so we can show you that later. I think it's a website, I think we might still have it running, ruralpaths.eu, I think is I'll have to check it, see if it's still going, ruralpaths.eu or .com, I don't know. Any other tips you'd like to give to people who are considering cycling through this part of the world?
Really hard to say, because I didn't know what to expect whatsoever. So I took far too many stuff as usual.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the weather, so far it's much better than expected. So I could have left some stuff back home.
And we're in late August. Yeah.
We're in late August. Yeah. What date is today?
Today is the 26th of August. So you started what date?
12th of August.
Yeah. So we're looking at about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. No, I have a small cooker.
And gas one, yeah?
Yeah. And in fact, it runs with petrol and diesel and whatever. And you can buy like lamp oil like in every supermarket, so that's no problem at all. It's not like in other parts of the world where it's really difficult to get those items. Yeah, really easy. And then making a coffee once in a while and some noodle soups, and yeah, that's about it.
Good.
For breakfast, by the way, there are a lot of small shops on the way. Like even in tiny villages, they always have a kind of small, no, not really a supermarket, but at least you can buy some water, some bread, some meat, some cheese, whatever you need. So basically, there's no need to take a lot of stuff, except for the area around Kolka, where there are not many shops around.
So on average, how many kilometres between these little towns and these little shops?
Hard to say. It's really hard to say. I would say maybe 20.
20 odd kilometres, yeah. And what would the biggest distance be? Maybe 50 kilometres between when you saw a town? Or?
No, I would say a little bit more up at the coast, at the Cape. Yeah, maybe 50.
Yeah. Okay, so 20, 50, 70 kilometres is at the most. Yeah. So it's not so far.
No, not at all.
It's important to mention too that the Lithuanian Tourist Information Services have put together a very good map on the cycle tracks. They go around Klaipeda onto the island down to a place called Nida. There's about 200 kilometres of cycle tracks. They go through some majestic forests right up to the Lithuanian border. You can pick up those maps at the Argonaut hostels or at the Tourist Information Services in Vilnius and Kaunas and Klaipeda for certain. When you need to get a map for Latvia, and you can get them at most places before you even get to Latvia. There's lots of maps around, and in petrol stations are the most obvious locations, but you can also get them in tourist offices.